Gardner. Welcome, and we're so happy that you could attend today. I want to give some thanks to Mike Richard, who's a retired history teacher and guidance counselor from Gardner High, for some little vignettes and historical anecdotes, which I think, will add a little bit to our ceremony today. I would mention one thing that, as Mike had suggested, that when I was first elected back in 1973 as the 12th mayor, nearly 50 years ago, if that doesn't make you feel old, Gardner had just marked its 50th anniversary as a city. Mayor Nicholson will now be the mayor as Gardner plans its centennial as a city in 2023. And one other interesting little vignette, Mike is the 10th Gardner High School graduate to serve as mayor. The third mayor, George Sweeney, who served in the early 1930s, graduated in the Gardner High School class of 1913. Mike graduated 100 years later in the class of 2013. I would like to take this opportunity right now to recognize officials who are in our midst in participating in our ceremony. Former State Representative Bob Rice, former State Senator Jennifer Flanagan, State Representative Kim Ferguson, State Senator Ann Goby, former State Senator Stephen Brewer, and one of my dear friends from the old Boys State days and when he was on the City Council, former Boston City Councilor Lawrence DeCara. Thank you. I would also like to acknowledge the City Council, Ron Cormier, Jim Walsh, Scott Graves, Karen Hardern, Nate Boudreau, James Boone, Craig Cormier, Alec Dernalowitz, Judy Mack, and George Tyros. School committee members Jennifer Palavin, John Lafreniere, Bob Swartz, Jim Hebert, Ann Hurst, and Rachel Cormier. And members of the Rutland Select Board, Linda Nichols, Jeff Stillings, Leah Whiteman, and Leroy Clark, and Sheriff Lou Evangelidis, and State Senator Dean Tran. I'd like to especially welcome my fellow former mayors of the City of Gardner, Alan Agnelli, Charlie Manka, Dan Kelly, and Mark Hawk. Now please join me in welcoming Her Honor outgoing Acting Mayor and Council President Elizabeth Kazinskis and Michael J. Nicholson, Mayor-elect of the City of Gardner. I ask that you all please stand as the color guard of the Gardner American Legion Post 129 posts the colors. I would ask that all non-uniform guests place their hands over their hearts and uniform personnel salute as the colors pass. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It is now my pleasure to invite Mr. Gianni DeVilli to the podium to lead us in the singing of our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Officer of the day, please dismiss the color guard. I ask that all please remain standing as the colors are retired.
DJ, left, straight. Forward, left.
Please remain standing as I call upon Father Stephen Lundrigan, pastor of the Annunciation Parish, to offer the invocation.
Gracious God, we give you thanks for the many gifts you give us, the gift of our lives, the gifts of freedom and peace, and the many unseen blessings which you bestow upon us each day. Hear our prayers for our new mayor and be with us at this time. In ancient times, your people were entrusted by you with performing acts of consecration upon their leaders. As once they performed these ritual acts, so be with us today as we perform these acts of inauguration, formally entrusting our new mayor with leadership responsibilities on behalf of our community. I call down your blessing, O Lord, upon this whole group of persons assembled, and especially on Michael Nicholson, that he be filled with your wisdom and with strength, that he be endowed with courage and prudence, that he be filled with your grace as he takes up this office on our behalf. We ask all this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, and entrust our cause to your great love and your mighty power. Amen.
Thank you, Father Steve. At this time, I call upon the Honorable Alan Agnelli, City Clerk, to deliver the certificate of election and to administer the oath of office to the mayor-elect.
Good evening. It's my duty to provide you with the 2020 Certificate of Election, Gardner, Massachusetts, June 30th, 2020. As a result of the votes cast at the special city election held on June 30th, 2020, Michael J. Nicholson was declared elected mayor for the term ending January 3rd, 2022. A true copy attest, Alan L. Agnelli, City Clerk. At this time, I'd ask Mayor-elect to step to the lectern. Please repeat after me. I, Michael J. Nicholson, do solemnly swear
I, Michael J. Nicholson, do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
and will support the Constitution thereof.
and will support the Constitution thereof.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I, Michael J. Nicholson, do solemnly swear and affirm
I, Michael J. Nicholson, do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform all the duties incumbent on me
discharge and perform all of the duties incumbent upon me
as mayor of the city of Gardner,
as mayor of the city of Gardner,
according to the best of my abilities and understanding,
according to the best of my abilities and understanding,
agreeably
agreeably
to the rules and regulations
to the rules and regulations
of the Constitution
of the Constitution
and the laws of this Commonwealth.
and the laws of this Commonwealth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I, Michael J. Nicholson, do solemnly swear
I, Michael J. Nicholson, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Mr. Mayor. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to welcome the Honorable Jonathan Zlotnick, State Representative for the 2nd Worcester District, to come to the podium.
It is my pleasure to introduce our new mayor for the purpose of making his first inaugural address. As long as I have known Mike, he has been steadfastly dedicated to the city of Gardner and its people. He brings an enthusiasm and positive disposition that we surely need as we navigate through and out of this pandemic and the challenging times ahead. He has proven his commitment to our community and then some. He has clearly demonstrated that he has the ability and skills to lead our government. He has proven that he has the support of the people, and he has given us all every reason to be confident in his leadership. So please join me in welcoming our new mayor and my good friend, Michael Nicholson.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Reverend clergy, elected officials, members of the City Council and School Committee, friends, family, guests, and most importantly today, my fellow Gardnerites. Thank you for being here today for the city's first summer inauguration and what was supposed to be our first outdoor inauguration. When we checked the weather today at 3 o'clock, we were told there was going to be a 70% chance at a massive thunderstorm going through. Well, as you can see, the people upstairs had a different take, but I'm glad we were still able to come here together safely, still following the regulations, and celebrate who we are as a city. However, with that said, there's some certain people that I need to thank, because when you're told 2 hours in advance that we need to move everything that was originally set up outside on the front steps in here, that doesn't get done on its own. So I'd like to thank Lauren Saunders, Roland Jean, Paul LeBlanc, Philip Hull, Colin Smith, Douglas Lepisto, Jackie Nicholson, Alan Agnelli, and Representative Zlotnick for helping us set up the hall that we have here today. Please join me in thanking them for making this possible. I'd like to give a special welcome to the former mayors who are here with us, whose place I now stand. Mayors Erickson, Agnelli, Manka, Kelly, and Mayor Hawk. I feel like it's also, thank you, yes, please. I also feel it's worth pointing out that we have the city's 4 youngest mayors in history here with us today. Mayor Erickson was elected at 21 soon after graduating from the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Mayor Agnelli at 24, myself at 25, and Mayor Hawk at 33. Gardner has a long tradition of electing young, energetic mayors, and I am very proud to be joining their ranks here today. I'd also like to thank my family for their constant support throughout the course of my campaign and every day. Dad, you showed me the value of working for your community and working hard to make a positive impact in helping others. Jackie, of all the things I've accomplished, I'll never be more proud than when I can say, I am Jackie Nicholson's older brother. You continue to inspire me every day and push me to be the best I can be. A mi madre, mis abuelos y toda mi familia nicaragüense, les quería decir unas gracias especiales a ustedes también. Los cuentos de sus sacrificios, sobrevivir un terremoto y 2 guerras, mudarse a un nuevo país, aprender un nuevo idioma y empezar una nueva vida aquí en los Estados Unidos, en esta ciudad de Gardner. Son los cuentos que trato de pensar todos los días. Cada oportunidad que he tenido durante mi vida ha sido por las oportunidades que se sacrificaron ustedes para que esta generación menor de la familia tuviera una vida mejor. Es por sus abnegados sacrificios que puedo estar aquí hoy, el primer alcalde hispano y latino de esta ciudad. Espero que seguir haciendo que les sientan orgullosos de mí, mientras añadimos nuestro cuento a la nueva etapa de la historia de esta gran ciudad. To my friends, educators, mentors, and everyone else who has played a part in supporting me to get here today, thank you for your constant presence and support in my life that has helped shape me into who I am today. Thank you to the members of the City Council and the School Committee and all our elected and appointed officials here today for your service that you provide to our community. In particular, I'd like to thank Council President Elizabeth Kaczynskis and Councilor James Walsh for filling the position as acting mayor of the city for the past 6 months. No one could have predicted that during your time as acting mayor, the world would go through a global pandemic like we haven't seen in over a century, and we owe you our thanks for helping to guide the city through these times. Please join me in thanking these 2 great public servants. I would be remiss if I didn't give a special thank you to the town of Rutland, the place that has been my second home for the past 2 years. I cannot thank you enough for welcoming me into your town, and know that the geographic center of the Commonwealth will always be at the center of my mind when I think of the memories that we made together and the accomplishments that we were able to achieve. Thank you to all those who helped make today's events possible. To our former mayor, Stephen Erickson. Since I started working in local government, your name has come up numerous times. From the fact that we were both young when we were elected, both being alumni of the Massachusetts Boys State program, and both graduates of the University of Massachusetts Amherst, you have been a great role model for me, and it is an honor to have you here today as our Master of Ceremonies. Thank you to the Inaugural Committee for your support during this process, Representative Zlotnick, former Representative Rice, my sister Jackie, Brad Heglin, and Colin Smith. Mayor Hawk, thank you for taking me under your wing 6 years ago and helping to show me the ropes. I'll keep it going as best I can, but I'm hoping by the time I'm done I won't have as many gray hairs in my head. And finally, I feel like we would be remiss today if we didn't give a special thank you to the administration and staff of Haywood Hospital. If there is anything we've learned in the past 5 months, it's how lucky and blessed we are to have Haywood Healthcare located in our community. And this is personal to me. On Wednesday, March 25th, my family was notified that one of my cousins had a confirmed case of COVID-19, and was being admitted to the intensive care unit of Haywood Healthcare, where he would remain on a ventilator for the next 4 weeks. The professionalism and genuine care that the staff of Haywood Hospital showed my family during that time, coupled with the outpouring of support from the general public that was showed at that time, are prime examples of how the work that everyone at Haywood Hospital and the community impact what we do and how we live every day, before and after this pandemic that we are currently in. It also shows that everyone who works in those buildings down on Green Street are local heroes among us. It's no secret that these times have been difficult in the past few months, but it's also helped define who we are as a city. We rise together as a community, and we fall together as a community. Yes, we've seen hard times lately. Unemployment claims went up, businesses were forced to close, relatives and loved ones became sick, and we had to change the way that we lived our normal lives. We even had fear to show the loved ones that we have the way we show our affection in a usual embrace, for fear that that love that we were showing could actually endanger them. However, we saw a community come closer together than we've been the more we stayed apart. We saw our public officials, healthcare workers, political leaders, and so many others stand up to the challenge that was ahead of them, and we saw just how easy it was to see a smile behind a mask. When thinking of what to say during this address, I was constantly reminded of the words of someone who I view as a great mentor recently said, that in this past century, our nation has gone through 2 world wars, a Great Depression, a pandemic, social change, a recession, and so much more. And yet here we are, stronger than ever because of the experience that we have gone through together as a community. 2020 has been a year of challenges and trials, but it has also given us a chance to start a new era with a strong foundation, with a diving board to show the strength that will define us as we go through this next decade. It can easily be seen that the city department that has been impacted the most due to the current pandemic has been our school system. It will not be until the year 2034 at least that we do not have a student in our K-12 educational system that has not had to change their educational experiences at one point in time due to the current pandemic. And that's a call for us now more than ever that we need to treat our school system for exactly what it is, a way in which we make a permanent impact on the lives of our next generation, the most vulnerable people here in our community, and shape who we are for the future. During the past decade, we funded our schools at a rate higher than we ever have before in the city's history. We also have the construction of a new, state-of-the-art elementary school to look forward to, with construction beginning by this time next year. However, this pandemic has also showed us that we need to continue to give our students and our educators the resources they need to be able to be successful in these times, where plans are still being talked through to see how we will accomplish giving our students the quality education that they deserve for the next year. And this will be one of the main priorities of my administration. This is also something that we should be looking at with our other departments as well, though. We should constantly be evaluating areas of improvement, especially those that have been highlighted by this pandemic. And one example of this can be through our online permitting system. We already implemented this online permitting system in our building department some years ago when I was still an intern in Mayor Hawk's office. But we should continue to bring the high-quality services that we provide here in City Hall out into the community so that people have the safe access to the services of City Hall from the comfort of their own homes. We've made large strides of this in the past 4 months, and it's something I am very looking forward to seeing how we accomplish during my first term. We have made strides over the past few years in reducing our carbon footprint as a city. We obtained green community statuses twice, and we were the second community to sign on to the Commonwealth Community Compact Best Practice Program and have invested more in our infrastructure than ever before. However, we need to continue to adopt practices that will enable us to be more sustainable and resilient in the face of climate change and other challenges that we are facing. And by working together with our partners at the state and federal level, we can find new ways and new funding opportunities to help us stay strong as we work and plan for our future. In our downtown alone, just around the corner, we currently have new sidewalks being installed and have replaced the majority of our utility lines. And by the mid-fall to end of this year, all our roadways in downtown will be repaved. This amount of work in this short amount of time is something that the city has not seen in many years, but it's an investment in ourselves and who we are. For many people, we see all the things that make us stand out as a community, and it just becomes familiar, and we hide it in the background of our minds because we see it so often. But in reality, we should be using these advances to help highlight who we are. Here in Gardner, we have an enviable community hospital, a college, 18-hole golf course, bike trail, dog park, radio station, skate park, library, movie theater, community pool, Dunn State Park, ice skating rink, a scout camp, and so much more. In the past decade, we've invested more into our recreational facilities and playgrounds than ever, including a new athletic complex at Gardner High School and recent upgrades to the Ovala Case playground that were done in partnership with the Solid of a Rock Foundation. When we work with our partners in the public and the private sector, we can accomplish things greater than we could have ever dreamed of before. We've even created a new recreation department that helps run our summer programs for our city's youth to give them a place to get outside and stay active. Or as the mural over at Jackson Park says, unplug and play. Our business community ranges from manufacturing, biomedical engineering, small retail, healthcare, finance, and it just continues to grow. Established businesses have reached milestones, such as the Blue Moon Diner celebrating their 20th anniversary this past weekend, Lakin's Children Apparel celebrating their 85th anniversary, and all of the other events that Gardner Square 2 puts on to help celebrate who our business community is and get out to the community what we have here. We've seen companies like Tractor Supply and the 99 Restaurant open their doors here, with new opportunities coming at Timpani Crossroads, the Garbus site, and the S. Bent properties in the very near future. In fact, one of the first things I did after being sworn in officially yesterday morning was sign a grant proposal to help grow our commercial base here in the city and continue to diversify what we have to offer here. The work done by local organizations like the Greater Gardner Chamber of Commerce and Gardner Square 2 and our community and economic development team here at City Hall are vital to the successes we have as a community and should be commended. We have so much here to offer to our residents, to those looking to call the city their home. But while we are marketing ourselves to others, we also need to take the effort to market ourselves to us as well. When I was speaking to a group of high school students late last year, I asked how many of them planned to stay in the city after they went off and graduated and went on to their next steps. And while a few hands went up, others, and the majority of them, remained down. When I asked them why, they all had similar responses. What is there to do in Gardner? I want to go in a specialized field, and that's just not available here. We seem to be declining, and I'm not sure if this is where I want to see myself in the next 10 years. After about 5 minutes of talking with them, you could see that they just didn't know what was here in the city and what was available for them in their hometown. Economic development is not just attracting new businesses into the city, but attracting our residents into what we already have here. I got to this podium today because there was an interest sparked in me in middle school during Government Week at Our Lady of the Holy Rosary Elementary School. Rather than doing a usual student body election, the students elect real-world positions, a mayor, city council, and school committee, and other state offices, and those that were too shy to run for office were appointed to directors of public health, treasurer collectors, and other city officials. They then got to shadow that person for a day to see what they were actually doing and how they made a difference in their community. Well, back in 2009 when I was an 8th grader, I ran for mayor and got to shadow Mayor Hawk for a day. Fast forward to senior year of high school, and in Mr. Gardella's Advanced Placement U.S. Government class, he informed us that we had two options for our final grade. We could write a 20-page research paper or get involved in local government in some way, an internship, working on a local campaign. And that's how I got my job at Mayor Hawk's office. I got an internship that sparked my path for the rest of the way. How can we do that for our other students here? I don't know where I would be if I didn't have those opportunities before me, but I know from those experiences, and I knew then, that the city I called my home was a special place, and I wanted to work to help make a difference in it. Providing our students with real-world experiences, with what they'll actually be doing in their real lives, is an invaluable gift that helps enrich the educational experiences that they have and plan for their futures. We should be working with our local business communities and our school system to help give our students the tools needed to participate in these experiences and inform them of the opportunities that are here right outside their door. Yes, 2020 has been a hard year, but it's a year that helps define us and who we are for the next decade. And if how we've acted so far is any example of what that'll be, then I am the luckiest person in the world to be standing here today as the next mayor. Though we have been facing unprecedented times, and we are standing at the door of an era of opportunity and success like the city has never seen before. And no matter what challenges we face, we have shown that we can adapt to meet these challenges head on. We've seen church sanctuaries move to Facebook, restaurants move outdoors, retailers curbside, meetings on Zoom, movie theater popcorn served through drive-through service, office spaces moved to kitchen tables, graduations to parades, and Gardner Public Schools started giving out meals to any child in the city, student or not, who was in need. This pandemic is something that we are still in the midst of here, and we will be dealing with it for some time. But how we've come together so far gives us hope that we will get through this. When times get tough, we stand up, and when we do, we bring all of us up together. Just a few weeks ago, we celebrated that over 2 centuries ago, the founding fathers of this nation took on the greatest superpower in the world, and against all odds, and the massive challenge that was before them, changed the course of world history forever through their courage, strength, and commitment to bring a better life for their new nation and those that would come later. Those of you who were able to pick up a program today, if you looked at the back, you saw that our national anthem that Mr. DeVilli so eloquently sang for us today ends in a question. Does that Star-Spangled Banner still wave, or the land of the free and the home of the brave? This question isn't meant to leave us with a sense of uncertainty. It's a challenge. A challenge to stand up and provide for our fellow neighbors and give them the strength and courage that they need to meet the challenges of the world with renewed vigor, no matter how daunting the task is in front of them or how much the odds are stacked against us. To continue the work that those did back when we had our revolution and change the world one person at a time to make sure that everyone in this city feels happy, safe, healthy, and proud to call Gardner their home. Just a bit ago when I was sworn in, I took the oath on 2 Bibles, one that my father's family brought with them from Canada when they immigrated to Gardner, and the other that my mother's family brought with them from Nicaragua when they moved to Gardner. When my father's family moved to the city in the 1920s, they did so to find economic opportunity. When my mother's family settled here in the 1980s, Gardner provided them with a new home free from war and oppression. In both cases, Gardner was their American dream, a place where they could live and work and play, and where they knew they could provide for their families and bring about a better life for the next generation. As we stand here today, on the steps of a new decade, it's our turn. When someone stands here 10 years from now and asks the question, what does Gardner mean to you? The answers that they get responded to will be a direct result of what we do here and who we shape ourselves as. I could not be more excited for what is ahead of us or more proud to call the city of Gardner my home, our city. God bless you all. God bless this city. And now let's get to work. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to make sure that we also recognized District Attorney Joe Early, who's also with us today. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. At this time, I ask you to please rise as Reverend David R. Cody, Chaplain of the Gardner Fire and Police, offers the benediction.
Almighty and gracious God, continue to bless this your servant, appointed here in this community to be a leader and one who expresses your love in many ways. We pray, O God, that in the exercise of authority to serve faithfully and enhance our common life here, Michael will be strengthened and guided by your grace. And give us grace to live and serve together in unity and in peace as we continue our journey together in Gardner. We give thanks for the work of our city councilors and educators, all the board members, and those who labor on behalf of all of us. Now bless and strengthen Michael and all those who work with him in this time of transition, of challenge. Give them what is needed with patience and perspective and assurance and hope. And grant all who lead in this city with Michael your guidance, that we may share the gifts that you have given all of us for the good of all. The Lord bless and keep you, Michael. The Lord let his face shine out and show the way with you and be gracious to you. And the Lord look upon you and give you his strength and peace. Amen.
Lest I not offer at least one more vignette from Mike Richard, I thought was, really very interesting. As I told you, Mike Richard is a retired history and guidance counselor at Gardner High School, and he essentially, as part of his responsibility, was to meet with all incoming freshmen. And he had a conversation with Mike about his future plans, and at age 14, he indicated that he would like to become either a priest or the mayor of Gardner. So 11 years later, he is now the mayor of the city of Gardner, and the 20th. This concludes this mayoral inauguration, and as we leave, please enjoy God Bless America, pre-recorded by the University of Massachusetts Minuteman Marching Band from this evening's event. And I would say just one last thing. God bless Mayor Nicholson and his administration, our city council and school committee, police and fire and all first responders, EMS, nurses, doctors, aides, and especially God bless all the people of this great city for whom I'm eternally grateful. And God bless America. Thank you.